Topics is in session with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Meghan McCain, and Anna Navarro. Now, let's get things started.
Oh, wonderful. How old are you today?
I am 27 years old.
Oh, happy birthday. He's just high on life, the guy.
I know.
My goodness.
That's so
Okay. Come back every day. So, you know, everybody's in a good mood, but I have to start with a sad thing, and then we'll move on, because there was a terrible thing that happened in New Zealand. Maybe you read about it. And our hearts are just broken over the act of terror that claimed 49 lives in 2 New Zealand mosques. 3 people are in custody right now, and keep watching ABC News as this story unfolds. It's just awful. It's scary. The whole world is a little scary right now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so now you can get back to being happy again. I mean, we're sad for them, but what are we going to do? It's terrible. Oh, here's politics. Most Republican senators stood by as Trump's Muslim ban took place, his gutting of environmental law and immigration policies that separated families at the border, put kids in cages. But it looks like there finally could be some turning. 12 GOP senators aligned with Democrats. Imagine that. To reject his emergency declaration for the border wall, Trump made it clear what he plans to do about it, tweeting, "Veto." Does he think that's a person from Italy, or does he veto?
I think he was trying to say Beto.
with the hand motion.
The alphabet right. So now what happens? He vetoes that, and now they have to have 2/3 to overthrow it, right? Override the veto in the whole Congress, right?
Well, right, in both houses, and they're probably not going to get there. The likelihood that they get there is very slim. This is being challenged in court, so we're probably going to see court action as it goes through the courts. You can explain that more. But look, to me, these 12 senators, I know a lot of them, were not aligning with Democrats. They were aligning with their principles and their convictions and their spines for once.
Yeah.
You know, they were remembering that this is not about being a rubber stamp for a president because he happens to be of your party, but rather being and behaving as an independent, co-equal branch of government. He is usurping the power of the legislative.
Yeah.
He is setting a bad precedent.
Well, the Congress is responsible for the purse strings. That's in the Constitution.
Exactly.
Right.
So they are basically giving up. I mean, people who are constitutional strict on Constitution, like Ben Sasse and Ted Cruz, are both saying, forget the Constitution, I'm sticking with this president. Why?
They're up for re-election. This highlights to me the worst part of politics. I think this represents the worst of the worst, because you're putting your election and your party before what you feel is best for this country. Tom Tillis is a perfect example of that in North Carolina. He wrote an op-ed just a few weeks ago saying that against this, saying that it was intellectually dishonest.
Yeah.
And then just fast forward to yesterday, he voted against it because he's up for re-election.
Wow.
So there are over 20, I believe, Republicans up for re-election in 2020. The only one that voted against this was Susan Collins.
Yeah. She's up for re-election.
She's up for re-election. So I give her a lot of kudos because
Do you?
Either way, she's in Maine, which is
Maine, not Vermont,
which is
right.
not the most conservative state, but she could get flack for voting either direction on this. I wish I saw more Republicans that were up for re-election voting this way, because then it shows you care more about this country than it does about yourself and about political
But what do you
parties.
think they're scared? Are they scared just of that they're not going to get reelected, or is there other fear? Are they afraid of Trump and his wrath and the fact that he calls people names
That
and
may
goes
be
after
part
them?
of it, but if you consider yourself a strict constitutionalist, then there is no way that you could vote in line with Trump, because the two can't coexist. But I think what may be interesting is when you look at this winding up in the courts, you know, you have these three separate but equal branches of government. And so the courts, I think, are going to look at the legislative intent behind this, because the legislative intent is really clear. You have the House, you have the Senate, and they're saying we don't agree with the executive branch. We don't agree with the president. And so what are the courts going to do with it, I think, is going to be very, very, very interesting.
I see.
And on the legal angle, there's a court action that's been started by an alliance of 20 states being led by
Yes,
Javier
yeah.
Becerra, the Attorney General
16
of
states.
California.
16
Yeah, but this is,
states.
by the way, this is what Trump
And they
wants.
blocked.
Trump knew
they
from the
voted.
beginning that he would probably likely have to veto this. And
Yeah.
with his base, he's thinking, this is exactly what I need to do to show them that I'm going to stand strong on the border, because now it will go to the courts. And we know that takes a long time. So this will go likely well into the 2020 race,
I
which
think that's
he
right.
sees as an advantage, I think, for himself politically.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
You have anything to say on this, Matt?
I agree with what Abby just said. That everybody's playing politics all the way around. I will say, when you're talking about people like Mike Lee and Rob Portman, they are strict constitutionalists. And Mike Lee, I would say, is probably, I mean, he was rumored to be up for the Supreme Court. He's one of the most, deeply dedicated to the Constitution of, I think, any politician
Is
probably
he a Tea
serving.
Party guy?
No, I would say he sways more libertarian. But I'm just saying the question I wanted to pose to the table was, does this change your mind about Republicans now in any way? That there are 12 people.
I'm more hopeful that they'll start to see the light and start to really realize what's going on in the country.
Yeah, but you know what? Democrats, if this were reversed, I promise you, Democrats up for re-election would have, some of them would have voted, if this were under Barack Obama, would have voted
Maybe.
in favor.
You don't know
for
that.
their
That's
hypothetical. No, because there's
You don't
politics
know.
on both sides.
But you don't know, though. You don't know that. It never happened before.
But I think that's why people get so cynical about politics, because of the inconsistencies of politicians depending who is in power. And so if you were against the executive actions and the emergency orders by Barack Obama, then you've got to be, hold the same convictions. And the same thing goes on both sides.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I also think what constitutes an emergency, we should maybe make a baseline for this, which I should be hurricanes, God forbid, terror attacks, things that are actual emergencies.
Well, that's the thing. When a Democrat is in power,
that is the point, is that if it's reversed.
Have one more school shooting, and that'll be the end
You know
of
it's an emergency.
the AR-15.
He's only played golf 5 times since declaring it instead of 12.
Yeah, right? How is it an emergency? That makes sense.
All right. Okay. What are we talking about when we come back? I can't read this. I mean, they're telling me what we're talking about. Oh, Whoopi's surprise visit. Yes, she was here yesterday, and we had such fun with her. We'll be right back. Whoopi is still on the mend. We're hoping she'll be back here maybe next week. We'll see. Hurry back, Whoopi, and get well.
Yes, we love you, Whoopi. This is The View.
On ABC.
Still ahead, California Governor Gavin Newsom reveals why he made the controversial call to stop the death penalty in California. And it's Feel Good Friday on View Your Deal.
So I think that I have a little bit of bad feelings about how I set up and talked about that New Zealand tragedy. I think I sounded as though I was just like flippant about it, and I'm not. I'm very upset about it. It's just that in this job, it's hard to make these transitions. So if I came across a little brittle, it's only because, you guys are happy and a sad, terrible thing has happened. I really feel bad about it.
And you came in this morning irate about
I was
what happened.
horrified by it, and it's a white supremacist doing it again, and I worry about it in this country.
And look,
and the whole thing is terrible, but when you're sitting in this chair, you have to make that transition to something fun, and it's not easy to do. So,
particularly on a Friday when all of you guys are so incredibly
and this guy's having a birthday.
happy, and he's
I know.
It's not easy.
Well, and I was upset this morning when we were talking because I dropped my son off on a service trip, an international service trip, and when we were driving to the airport, I was hearing about this, and so I came in visibly distressed because I can't believe that this is going on yet again, this bigotry and this hate and these shootings all over our world.
Yeah, it's just a poignant reminder that we've got to condemn bigotry wherever it raises its ugly head, because there is no creed, there is no nationality, there's no race that is immune from acts of terror.
Especially New Zealand, when you think about a place that's not on the top of your list of this to happen, and it does. And to your point, it makes you realize every day you got to wake up, you got to be grateful for life. You know, we had Whoopi here yesterday. Another reminder of just Megan reminds us all the time on the show. You know, don't take it for granted. But we also we're in this together. Whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in any part of this world, we care for you. And it doesn't mean that you don't have a heart, you don't care. Based on
I do agree that bigotry has to be called out whenever you see it, however you see it. Agree. New Zealand in particular, guns are banned in New Zealand. So there's obviously conversations to be had regarding that as well. Yes, and it was obviously smuggled in or caught on the black market. But I will say that I think it's easy sometimes to come in, and I agree with you, Joy. It's hard. There's a wonderful audience in front of us. 2 gentlemen from Prescott, Arizona sitting right in the front. We want to have a good time, and it's hard to make the transition, so I completely understand what happened.
Just the other thing is that there were, in mosques, a place of religious worship, and I think that also should be the safest place where you're worshiping.
I worry about the hatred, because a friend of mine said when you're consumed with hatred, you lose your conscience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Somebody that goes into a Tree of Life synagogue in Philadelphia or a mosque in New Zealand
church in
are full of hatred, but are also insane.
Okay, well, so we mentioned that yesterday. Shall I do it now? Whoopi, we had this backstage footage to show you. So she proved she still knows how to make an entrance, the girl, okay? She came in, she knocked us out of our seats. Whoopi Goldberg appears from her bed, and we were just we were shocked by her. We did not know that she was coming on the show.
I was running like Ronald Reagan just walked in the door. Running toward her. I was like, Whoopi!
I actually haven't moved that fast my entire pregnancy.
I was worried you were going to labor.
But you know what? If there's one person that can make you feel that way, it's Whoopi Goldberg. She provides such a joy, and you guys all know this at this table, and she's been so missed, and only she could surprise us in that fashion.
I thought that particular part was so touching for all of us, because this is an entire team that you don't see behind the scenes in the control room, and everybody loves Whoopi, and everybody was emotional, crying. I mean,
I have to say, Whoopi is one of the most generous people I have ever met. She's like my aunts that I grew up with. You say to her, I like that bracelet. Here I know. They hand it to you. She's like,
Joy, she gave me a toilet seat today.
Really?
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Because I went to her house, and this woman has got toilets. I mean, these toilets, those toilets are warm up.
She
gave me a toilet seat.
They're heated toilet seats. She actually has given me shoes, my children's shoes. She has this fabulous
shoe. Toilet seat? They'll always have a place.
I haven't got a toilet seat from her, but I think for me,
I gotta see if it's got a monogram.
What was so incredible was the last time I saw her, she was really not doing well, and to see her walk in like that, it brought me to tears.
She's doing much better.
She's doing great.
We love you.
We're rooting for you. We'll be right back.
She was once the youngest self-made female billionaire.
If she had made this work, she would have been the next Steve Jobs.
But was it all based on a big lie?
Elizabeth Holmes, charged with massive fraud, her company Theranos.
She was ethically corrupt.
Her denials of any wrongdoing.
This is the testimony of Elizabeth Holmes.
And I would be one of your bridesmaids.
Yeah, but
you would say, I'm not going to have you part of this time.
Well, I feel as though the dress is not going to fit you. You're not going to fit.
It's like good luck. It's probably good luck.
It's good luck to upstage the bride?
No, to have a pregnant person in your wedding?
I'd make you look
good. Luck.
That's good luck. From what century is that?
I know. It's so cute.
I'm also not going to make it about me, like a photo shoot for my baby. There's a difference in just standing there.
Out, with like a Beyonce. Remember when she had that flowing thing? She was pregnant with the twins.
I could do that, but I would never do that to you, Joy. I would let you own the moment.
I would never do that to you, Joy.
I would let you own it.
I don't know.
Abby couldn't come to my wedding because she was pregnant.
Yeah, I
got
delivered
married
a few days later.
Right when she was giving birth.
You know what the bride should do? She should show up when
you were invited.
I know.
I was.
And I didn't do bridesmaids, so.
I thought about you, too. I was like, I don't want to, But no, I actually delivered 3 days after we got married.
But what she should do, the bride, is show up when she's giving birth in her wedding gown. Go to the hospital like a bride.
sounds
How?
awful.
I know.
I'm not doing that, Abby.
No.
That sounds awful.
Anna, you want to talk about your girlfriend Gloria?
Yes. So Gloria and Emilio Estefan, a couple of nights ago, got the Gershwin Prize for Popular Music. It's the first time a married couple gets it. It's the first time Latinos get it. I'm so proud of them. They are really what makes America great. They do so much for this community. They do so much for Miami, and they do so much for the world. So, felicidades, Gloria and Emilio.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Beautiful.
And they are a lovely, lovely couple.
Okay.
I hung out with them so much.
Did you have any pregnant bridesmaids, Anna?
I'm old. All my best friends have shriveled ovaries just like me. we couldn't.
I thought they were going to show the picture of the mother who came all pizzazzed up. It's like the mother of the bride. Do you have that picture handy? Where's that picture of the mother? Gee, look at this. No, that's Gloria Estefan.
The bride.
Whose mother is that?
This is the mother of the bride suggested outfit.
Joy, that's the mother of the bride.
Yeah.
If the bride is Wednesday Addams.
That would upstage a bride.
The Addams family. Morticia.
That would upstage a bride.
The show is called Bridezilla, not Mother of Bridezilla, okay? What?
To say, would you rather a pregnant bridesmaid or your mother to wear that dress at the
A
wedding?
pregnant bridesmaid.
Yes.
I don't want to be humiliated by that.
Right?
No. Okay, we'll be right back.
Why did California Governor Gavin Newsom put a stop to the death penalty? And did he really say this to President Trump?
I just want to tell you, you're a great president, and you're one of the smartest people I've ever met. That's what he said.
Find out, because he's live on The View next.